Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on WWE, Raw, and Superstars. But first, some news from WWE. WWE had a board meeting last week. Vince McMahon said this past quarter was essentially flat. It was nothing to write home about. And he also said he touted the 17% increase in pay-per-view revenue. He noted that the decrease in licensing profits was due to the lack of the WWE All-Stars title. And he also said the live events and TV ratings were very flat. Then he boasted about the excellent television ratings for Raw 1000. He said that the third hour of WWE Raw will give them more exposure. Vince then also he laughed as he talked about remastering and releasing No Holds Barred, and said it has done extremely well. And also said that people have been very patient regarding when and what the WWE Network is. He said they are not ready to make an announcement, but he feels very confident that next month they will be making an announcement, which will probably not be airing until 2014, 13, whatever. Well, Barrios of the company said that investing $5 million in tout. He said that the tout application was downloaded more than 30,000 times after they included touts in their live Raw broadcasts. He ran through the second quarter earnings presentation. And then Barrios also said the WWE main event television show will debut on October 3rd. So I guess the main event television will be on the YouTube account network. And Barrios touted again upcoming movie releases, including The Marine, Homefront, starring The Miz, Dead Man Down, starring Colin Farrell and co-starring Wade Barrett, The Hive with Halle Berry and David Otunga, No One Lives with Luke Evans and co-starring Brodus Clay, and a film called Barricade that will be released in September. I will also have some other movie news very shortly. Okay. Alright, Barrios also noted that they spent $100,000 to remaster the No Holds Barred movie and expect to generate $300,000 in revenue from the film. And he also raved about the increases in Facebook and Twitter followers count and YouTube views. Then they switched gears to take questions from callers. First caller asked for more details regarding the range of format options for the WWE Network. Barrios said that the three basic models that exist are broad basic distribution, a pay TV format similar to pay-per-view, and a third would be over the top. He said that they continue to have discussions regarding all three, and Barrios said he feels they've improved the content and functionality of the WWE website, and he had said that he feels increasing the social aspect of it also helps improve their numbers in that area. And then he goes on and says they will spend between $5 million and $10 million on programming for WWE Network this year. He ran through other expected costs. He said that they will discuss the expense model and investment model once they release more details about the network. And then another caller asked to explain the pay-per-view growth this quarter. Barrios said WrestleMania buys were up roughly 15%, and he said the other events were up 20%. The caller asked if they spent more on marketing. Barrios felt that the creative was great, and that's what drove it. He said marketing was essentially flat compared to the year before. Another caller asked about North American attendance being down. Barrios said it is hard to make a comparison from quarter to quarter because they are in different markets. He acknowledged that SmackDown live event attendance is down from where they would like to be. But duh. Would any company want to be down? Of course not. Barrios said today they viewed the numbers as a status quo. And then they had another caller also asked whether the YouTube content takes away from TV. Vince said it enhances it. He turned to the focus to the 3-hour expansion and said that the earlier hour helps them reach a different audience. He said that they can't get much from the extra hour internationally because they have existing deals. He said that the same is true for the WWE Main Event show that's coming on the network. And he said that they expect to change once the existing contracts expire. And Barrios declined to say what percentage of tout they own. He noted that they released the investment amount of $5 million. Then they got a caller asked where WWE expects the most growth from social media. Barrios said it's hard to draw a direct line. I believe the bigger win is just enhancing the brand and engaging with our audiences, and that ripples through everything. Another caller asked about what WWE superstars and NXT television. Barrios said that they continue to broadcast internationally. He noted that the change in the NXT format and taping location, being New Sale University, which can be found at New Sale University on dailymotion.com. Found that out earlier tonight. He said it's been going real well, and he said that the show looks great. Caller specifically asked for an update about how shows airing in the United States. They breezed through that one with usual lines about how it could change. There's anything to change in the WWE. At least they didn't make the usual claim about the shows being in high demand. Regarding the WWE Network content, Barrios mentioned Legends House and said that they expect to have live programming as well. He mentioned their library and said that they are creating new content using the library. He said that they developed a compelling show called Monday Night Wars. So I wonder what that's going to be in WWE, WWF. Another caller stated that as a shareholder, the company needs to say more. Regarding the WWE Network, I'm quite confident that the next earnings call will have a lot more to clarify for you. And Vince McMahon responded. Another caller mentioned that the Raw and the pay-per-views seem to become edgier. He asked whether there's been an intentional move to bring back double intenders from the Monday Night Wars area. Vince said he sees it as an evolvement, and he feels that the writing of the shows have been considerably better. He said he doesn't feel that there's a topic that they can't touch while doing it in a more accessible way. He said we've been more G than PG, but he said you could stretch things. A caller asked whether they took it too far on the G rating side, and Vince agreed with that assessment. And that concluded the conference call. All right, here's the movie news concerning like 3 different wrestling stars, not just WWE, but former WWE and TNA current wrestlers. I'll read it before I post the links. Former ECW WWE star Tommy Dreamer and TNA Knockout Rosita have signed to appear in the upcoming horror film Self-Storage, starring Eric Roberts. The film follows a group of friends who are locked in a high-security self-storage facility after a night of fun goes horribly wrong. And you can read more that story at the link right here. Let me stop. I'll hold it for like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, WWE superstar Randy Orton, after being dropped as the lead role in the WWE Studios film Marine 3, which the Miz replaced him. Well, he's being pegged to star in this new WWE Studios release of 12 Rounds Reloaded. Of course, the first one was with John Cena. Variety has the full story at Variety.com, and that is the second link. Right here. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Next. Okay, WWE diva Rosa Mendez was found crying in the bathroom earlier today at San Antonio Airport. Well, it was actually on Sunday evening by a fellow traveler who called the police for her. When the police arrived, Rosa, real name of Melina Roca, told them that her fiance had hit her several times in Las Vegas, where she had just flown from. She went on to tell police that she was afraid of her fiance, Andy Slocum, a former WWE talent who wrestled very briefly as Jackson Andrews on Raw, and said that he would try and kill her. Well, WWE representative told TMZ Melina Roca contacted a WWE talent relations representative this morning on Monday to notify that upon her arrival at San Antonio on Sunday, she contacted the police at the airport to report alleged domestic abuse that occurred just prior to her flight. And you can read more at the story of TMZ, and I will post that link right here as well. Right here. I'll hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, back on the story of the Randy Orton movie. It's a direct-to-DVD movie, just like Marine 3. Doesn't look like Orton is being scaled back in any way after the second failed wellness test. Okay. I'll go back to the other news on that story with Melina Roca, a.k.a. Rosa Mendez. Well, Andrews worked as Tyson Kidd's bodyguard for about a month before being shipped down to FCW and ultimately released for missing training sessions. Here's hoping Rosa is okay. I try very hard not to use my bully pulpit here, but I do hope that if these allegations are true, they prosecute the scumbag to the fullest extent of the law. Okay, well, WWE wrestler JTG was venting on Twitter during tonight's Raw, and he's quoted by saying, "The camel's back just broke," JTG wrote. "I had enough of this. As a pro athlete, I'm tired of my locker room brothers being taken advantage of," unquote. Another quote, "Fans have no idea what we go through. Yeah, I said it. Nobody wants to speak up. Everybody's afraid of losing their job, of getting taken off TV." And you can follow him online at twitter.com/JTG1284. Former WWE superstar Jake the Snake Roberts talked with Arda Ocal and Jimmy Corderas on Aftermath TV about the DDT and how it came into effect. Well, it was created from a mistake in a match to his thoughts on the move being used in virtually every pro wrestling show today, to how to properly execute and sell the move according to him. He also talks about, despite making many personal and professional mistakes in his career, wanting another chance working for WWE and helping with the product. And the first thing he wants to do is apologize to Vince McMahon. Well, I believe there was a video, but I didn't get the link on that. JBL spoke on Twitter earlier today, considering a fan that asked him if he was going to return to commentate on SmackDown after Booker T's been promotion to the general manager, and he says, "Nope, not true." And this was a story that wouldn't die. Emails were flooding in with people convinced that he was returning, even though it was clear to me that something with some fun with Michael Cole. Still a heel. JBL on commentary isn't exactly a horrible idea. At least better than listening to the squealing voice of Michael Coleslaw Cole. An advertised dark main event after all was John Cena versus Big Show and John Laurinaitis in a handicap match. Big Johnny hasn't been seen on TV due to the fact that he was fired, even though he is no longer holding an executive position within the company as well. But he's got something to do with production. Other than that, that's it. Former WWF superstar Dino Bravo would have turned 64 years old today. Bravo, who was rumored to have been connected to organized crime, was found shot to death in his apartment on March 10th, 1993. His murder remains unsolved. And a buddy of mine was asking about that earlier this week, and I did some research and found that out earlier today. So he didn't die of any drug abuse or anything other than that, unless it was with the mafia, as it was quoted by saying. All right, Karma has been released from WWE. Her real name, Kia Stevens, and she told TMZ after she miscarried last year, she fell into a deep depression and gained a lot of weight, falling out of wrestling shape. Now that she has been dropped by WWE, she is determined to get back to fighting shape and has recruited a team of fitness experts and therapists to aid her in some weight loss. Karma also plans to document the process in the hopes of it becoming a reality show. And you can read more of the story at TMZ, and I've got that one right here. Right here. I'll hold it for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And now for what everybody's been waiting for, Superstars. Internet. Practically nothing is off except for the hard camera area and stage. So a big crowd expected. And Superstars had 2 matches for Raw portion. United States Champion Santino Marella defeated Michael McGillicuddy in a non-title match. Standard 9-minute comedy match. Santino came back at the end with his usual finishing set into the Cobra. Hip toss. Sets up. Cobra. All right. My cat's trying to play with a mouse on my computer. All right. Second match with Tensai defeated Zack Ryder. Pretty much a glorified 6-minute squash match. Tensai stopped a late comeback by Zack Ryder and hits a turnbuckle bomb, Baldo bomb, and big splash for the win. Backsplash for the win. Very similar to Husky Harris's finisher. Well, now for Raw, it opened up with a video recap from last week. The night theme song opened the show. No more Nickelback opening theme. I know that this debuted at Raw 1000, but I think the fact that they are playing this song tonight means it's here to stay. I'm indifferent about the new song itself, but I'd like to thank WWE for abandoning the Nickelback theme, which is the greatest late birthday present ever received. And that was from a reporter on ProWrestling.net. Well, AJ starts off the show headed to the ring wearing a white outfit, business outfit, and welcomed viewer to Raw. She announced that Randy Orton will face Big Show, and Daniel Bryan will go against John Cena for the first time ever on Raw. There were plenty of boos for the mention of Cena's name. AJ was interrupted by CM Punk's music. CM Punk entered to a mixed reaction. Punk said that he's a man who lives his life with no regrets. He said he's also a man enough to know when he's made a mistake. He said he did something last week that he's not proud of, and he wishes he could take it back. Punk said he stepped out of line and lost his temper. Punk said that someone in AJ's position of power doesn't deserve to be disrespected, so just as someone with his power doesn't deserve it. Punk apologized, and AJ accepted his apology. Punk asked her to cancel a triple threat match at SummerSlam and assumed that she booked it out of anger. He noted that the champion doesn't have to be pinned or submit to lose his title. AJ said she's new at the job and she will make her share of mistakes, but this one was not one of them. She said the match stands. Punk accused her of booking the match because he rejected her. He said she should just cancel the match, yet noted that he was more willing to face a different opponent in a singles match for tonight. Well, John Cena's music played, and he headed to the ring. Cena said Punk has become one of those guys. He said Punk is now one of those guys who comes out every week and demands respect. You don't demand respect, you come out here and earn it. Plain and simple, as Cena said. Cena held up the mic to the fans as the dueling chants of Cena. Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks. But it almost sounded like CM Punk. Let's go, Cena. CM Punk. Hint, a match for later on tonight, but never happened. Cena noted the crowd's reaction and said that he has to fight every day to earn his respect. Cena said he was looking good in his match against Big Show last week before Punk got involved, and that's why there's a triple threat match. Cena stopped to tell AJ she smells great and that she looks good. And then he shook her hand. Punk noted that he didn't stick his nose in the Show versus Cena match. He accused Cena of putting his hands on him when he came barreling over the announcer's table and crashed into him. But I was expecting him for Cena to come back with the video footage of Show pushing him into Punk, but never happened. Punk proclaimed that he is the WWE champion and he won't be disrespected by anyone. He added that Cena had Big Show up, but everyone he's not strong enough to give him the attitude adjustment. And he said, "You're welcome, John," Punk said regarding with his interference. Cena pointed out that the WWE champion doesn't do well in triple threat matches and said Punk probably won't be a champion coming out of SummerSlam. They bickered until Big Show's music interrupted him. Stop it by AJ. She said she wasn't going to let things get out of control on her show. She said Cena and Show should save their aggression for their matches, their individual matches. Punk said the top two contenders are in matches, but AJ didn't include him in her infinite wisdom. She said she did, in fact, have him booked in a match. She said the fans would decide who his opponent will be by Twitter vote as they went to commercial, and they already had a winner. And she said the options are The Miz, Kane, and Rey Mysterio. As they went to commercial, they did voting, then they came back from the commercial, and automatically Rey Mysterio comes out. So, there you go. Well, the announcers hyped the fan voting and showed footage of Brock Lesnar breaking Triple H's arm. Footage, then they hyped Triple H and Lesnar's appearances for later on the show. Commercial break. If the live crowd's reaction is any indication, and it probably is, Mysterio got the nod. WWE is giving away 3 pay-per-view caliber matches on the show this week involving Punk, Cena, and Show. It's great for Raw viewers. Yet you have to wonder whether giving away big matches on TV to help fill in 3 hours will catch them in terms of not having fresh or marketable pay-per-view matches. Granted, it's not like we haven't seen Orton versus Show or Punk versus Mysterio, if he wins, before. But those are at least 3 potential television main events or pay-per-view matches that are giving away in one night, assuming that they actually deliver those matches as advertised. After the break, Jody King Lawler revealed that the results of the fan voting was Rey Mysterio received 47% of the vote. Kane got 31%, 22% for The Miz. Yep. Yeah, 20%, 22% for The Miz. So we get CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio non-title match. Michael Coleslaw touted Punk's title reign link. Punk caught Mysterio going for head scissors and countered into a backbreaker for 2 count. Mysterio came back with a split-legged dive onto Punk at ringside, heading into a commercial break. After the break, the announcers recapped footage of Punk cutting off Mysterio's 619 attempt with a clothesline. And we're back live. Mysterio went on offense flurry and hit 619. He went for a top rope splash, but Punk hit his knees up. Punk followed with a GTS, scoring the clean 10. That match took 10 minutes, 15 seconds. Punk reached inside his mouth, seemingly to check his teeth when he got hit with a 619 to see if it's all fake. I'm not sure whether he was selling a 619, but if he took a shot in the chops. It didn't look like he did. But of course he didn't block it either, so it would be his own fault. But all of his front teeth appeared to be intact. Announcers hyped a match later on with Show versus Orton and Cena versus Bryan for later in the show. Backstage, Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez were shown backing in a sports car into the building. Railroad Rodriguez said something to Del Rio in Spanish. Del Rio shoved his shoulders and said, "Let's go." Where they parked, it said no parking zone. There was 2 rooms out there, so I thought they was going to have a segment where they were tow it away. Well, I was surprised later on, as you will also be surprised if you missed the show yourself. A little more aggression for Del Rio on Ricardo, and Tensai and Sakamoto could sue for gimmick infringement. After the break, a Wade Barrett segment aired. This was a surprise to me. I'm not expecting him to come back until after SummerSlam, which is in 2 weeks. It showed him in an underground fighting setting. He said that that when the fire inside you burns out, you have to go back in the abyss to reignite it. I am Wade Barrett, and my barrage has just begun. It's great to see Barrett in his verge of returning. I still could see that the storyline helping CM Punk win the match at SummerSlam with Barrett coming in and reforming Nexus. But I could also do without the horrible Barrett Barrage slogan. And he's also sporting the beard in the video. Backstage, Alberto Del Rio again telling AJ that they both know he shouldn't have to compete on Raw until SummerSlam. She said she doesn't have him scheduled for anything tonight. And you thought she was just going to do something crazy? Well, Del Rio told Ricardo AJ got hot at the crazy mention and booked him in the next match. Because she said, what did you say? What did you say? He was talking something, like crazy something. Del Rio shoved Ricardo again out of frustration. You got me in trouble again. Michael Coleslaw and Jerry the King Lawler hyped the Shawn Michaels that will be appearing live during the show in his hometown. Commercial break. And then they showed a graphic noting that WWE provides Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-view events to the Armed Forces Network. Want to save money on WWE pay-per-views events and attend WWE shows for free? Join the Army. Alberto Del Rio versus Ricardo Rodriguez. With Ricardo Rodriguez versus Christian. I'll go back a little bit. By the way, you can save money on the events. It's like $5 for most shows if you're in the military. They don't give away free stuff because it's advertised on their tickets. $5 off. Well, back to Lawler noting on commentary that Booker T has been named the new SmackDown General Manager. Christian came out with some offense and got a 2 count. Del Rio worked over his shoulder again, and Coleslaw recalled Christian's shoulder injury. Christian went for a spear, but Del Rio countered with a kick. Christian regained control of the offense, but Ricardo distracted him momentarily as the ref was scolding Ricardo. Del Rio used his own boot as he took it off as a weapon, slamming it over Christian's head. Normally, if the referee was watching, it would be a disqualification. Del Rio applied a cross arm breaker and got the win. As clearly, gold boot, black socks. Referee didn't say it. Come on, open your eyes, ref. Another botch. Referee. What are they doing? Copying off of TNA with a botched Earl Hebner. Anyway, whatever. And that match took 3 minutes 10 seconds. After the match, Sheamus appeared on the big screen and was standing in front of Del Rio's car. Sheamus told him not to leave the keys in it, as he found the keys in the ignition, takes them out. And he then informed that he was going to take it on a drive around San Antonio. Commercial break. The new set design may prevent Del Rio from making his usual car entrance. However, there's nothing stopping Del Rio from calling the cops and having Sheamus arrested for Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, kids, it's more than just a video game. And then for SmackDown, focused on Booker T as a new general manager. I like the idea of Booker as manager compared to Coleslaw. Laugh out loud segment. He's a lousy announcer, but he's a good, charismatic performer, and fans generally like him. This feels like a much better role for him than commentary. Randy Orton makes his entrance, and the camera focused on some attractive women cheering him on. Big Show made his entrance for his match against Randy Orton. Attractive women threw their bras and panties at him? Okay. I made up that part. Lawler hyped the earlier start time for Raw. Since they're going 3 hours, just a reminder, 3 hours, so program your DVRs and what have you. Which Comcast had a thing on there when I was recording my Raw for tonight. It stopped recording about 10 minutes into the third hour. So it did not get recorded for the third hour, but I watched it. Okay, like I said, Big Show made his entrance for his match against Orton. Okay, already got to do that. That's the most hype WWE has given the earlier start time since it started with the Raw 1000. It's odd that they haven't tried to drive that home, but it was wise of them to do so at the top of the second hour. Randy Orton versus Big Show. Show got the better of Orton early on and told him that he's in over his head. Too easy, Show said. While Orton was struggling to get back to his feet. Orton got Show down and then struck the Viper's pose. Show got to his feet, grabbed Orton by the throat, chokeslammed him. Show went for the pin, but Orton kicked out. Show continued to rough up Orton and tease the chokeslam. Orton kicked Show a couple of times, but Show threw Orton into ringside. Show went after Orton and delivered a hard slap to his chest in front of the announcer's table, which the announcer's table was not even connected at all. It just slid out of the way. Show picks up Orton, who slips out, and rams Show into the ring post. Show comes back moments later with a spear as the referee counted both men out, double count out. After the match, Show went for the WMD knockout punch, but Orton dodged it and dropped him with an RKO. Orton fought Big Show to a double count out, 5 minutes 40 seconds. Announcers hyped that Triple H and Brock Lesnar were both in the building and saw Michael's appearance for later in the show. Commercial break. The idea was to make Show look really strong during the match, yet to use the count out and post-match RKO to protect Orton. Coleslaw also noted that it was only Orton's second week back in action following a 60-day suspension, which also provided an excuse for Orton giving up so much offense. I like the booking, though I don't think Orton even needed the RKO, as the announcers really could have played up Orton being rusty and avoided the final image of the segment, being Orton standing over one of the challengers for the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. And then they showed a SummerSlam commercial airing. Next matchup was Tyler Rex and Kurt Hawkins were already standing in the ring after the break. Ryback comes out, and yes, we get another Ryback versus two guys thing again. Ryback came out, and the camera closed in on both of his eyes to show that one of them was red from an apparent injury. A pre-taped clip aired of Ryback saying that his hunger consumes him, and he is never satisfied. He said Rex and Hawkins are being served. He welcomed them to the food chain and concluded by saying, "Feed me more." Ryback versus Tyler Rex and Kurt Hawkins in a handicap match. Rex and Hawkins got a little offense early on, but he eventually destroyed them both, pinning Hawkins after hitting him with his finisher. After he knocked Rex out of the ring, he later modestly received "Feed Me More" chants after the match. Ryback defeated Tyler Rex in about 2 minutes 50 seconds. And now just hype John Cena versus Daniel Bryan for later on in the show. Commercial break. Ryback looked half stoned. I'll be here all week, folks. Tip your bartenders. Primetime players with AEW, who owns All World Promotions, versus Primo and Epico. AW provided a basic introduction of his team using his headset mic. Rosa was not at ringside with her team, obviously. The players tried to leave ringside for another count-out finish, but Kofi Kingston and R-Truth came out, decked out in suits. Both of them were in suits this time. Primo and Epico attacked the players at ringside. Back in the ring, Primo hits Epico with a backstabber, and Darren Young and got the pin. For those who missed it earlier today, Rosa was allegedly assaulted by her fiancé, who wrestled as Jackson Andrews. She was found crying at San Antonio Airport, and on Sunday night the police were called. She told them that her fiancé had hit her several times while they were in Las Vegas. The story made TMZ news today. It appears WWE gave her a night off. The situation was not referenced by the announcers. Highlights aired of DX attacking Damien Sandow from Raw 1000. And of Sandow attacking Brodus Clay in 1001. Backstage, Josh Matthews interviewed Sandow, who ridiculed his dancing, and said tonight he will dispose of Clay for the betterment of everyone. You're welcome, Sandow concluded. There's a story on the main page regarding the WWE wrestler who is going off on Twitter rant, complaining that his locker room brothers are being taken advantage of. And that was, of course, JTG. Brodus Clay and his dancers started to make their entrance, but Damien Sandow attacked Clay from behind, taking his left knee out. Clay fought back briefly, but Sandow recovered quickly and attacked Clay's injured left knee again on the floor near the stage. Match never happened. Sandow worked over the knee while Clay screamed out in pain. Thank you, Damien, for stopping Clay's tired entrance. And it really was for the betterment of all of us. Really. He's only out there to get the kids into dancing. Why not have an exercise show? Bring back, Simon Dean and his exercise gimmick. Backstage, AJ told Daniel Bryan that they may have ruled, he been ruled sane, but it doesn't change the fact that he has anger management issues. Bryan said it may have something to do with her leaving him at the altar. He said that he's calm now and agrees with her decision to have him wrestle Cena. He said after he wins, she will be forced to add him to the WWE Championship match. She said he already has a match at SummerSlam against Kane, and so that match is added to SummerSlam. They went back and forth with yes and no. Commercial break. Borgasms. And the no-gasms. No Charlie Sheen mentioned, but all the anger management talk is worth noting, given that it's the name of his FX television show. The announcers recalled that Sheamus is driving Alberto Del Rio's car around San Antonio. Cole Saul said he stole it. Lawler said it's just a joyride. Match number 6, the returning Kelly versus Eve Torres. The announcers played up Kelly's return, but the live crowd wasn't overly excited based upon their ho-hum reaction to her entrance. Women fought to ringside as Kelly whipped Eve into the barricade. Announcers said Kelly returned with a chip on her shoulder. Back inside the ring, Kelly hit crossbody for a near fall. She went for head scissors in the corner, but Eve slammed her down to the mat face first. Later, Kelly used the head scissors and turned it into a roll-up to get the clean pin. That match took 3 minutes. Announcers recapping Sheamus stealing Del Rio's car again. Kelly's return didn't feel like a happening. Live crowd gave her only a slightly better reception than the rest of the divas usually get. By the way, there's a news story regarding the fate of TNA Impact Wrestling airing live on Spike TV. Ring announcer Justin Roberts introduced WWE Hall of Famer and San Antonio's own Shawn Michaels. HBK made his entrance and got the usual pyro treatment. Michaels got a strong reaction from the live crowd. I missed half of this segment whenever I took a bathroom break. And Cole and Lawler were shown standing and applauding from ringside. The fans chanted HBK once his music stopped playing. Michaels, who was wearing Mr. Hall of Fame t-shirt, joked again and said he's not in shape for his entrance. Michaels thanked the WWE Universe for allowing him to be part of history via the Raw 1000 show. Michael says he's used content watching the world go by from his ranch, but there was no way he would miss Raw being in San Antonio. He said that there are some familiar faces and some that he didn't recognize. He said that they're all talking about a confrontation at SummerSlam between Triple H and Brock Lesnar. He said they were all asking for his opinion. Brock Lesnar's music plays and interrupts Michaels. And you got Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman headed to the ring at the top of the show's third hour. Heyman said everyone should be asking HBK's opinion regarding Lesnar versus Triple H because HBK is the single greatest entertainer in the history of the WWE. Heyman said he and Lesnar would seek out his opinion as well, but not for this particular match. Heyman said Lesnar is not going to SummerSlam to be an entertainer or showstopper. He's going to SummerSlam to fight Triple H and to prove once again that he's the baddest dude on the planet. Lesnar glared at Michaels throughout the promo, but then looked to the crowd once the HBK chant started again. Michaels said he's not there to dispute the attributes of Lesnar. Exactly, he said it. Heyman said Michaels told him not to put words in his mouth. HBK said any other time Lesnar is the man. However, they went somewhere they shouldn't have gone with Triple H by making it personal by bringing up his wife and kids. Michaels said he doesn't even recognize Hunter anymore. Michaels said that he would give his opinion even though that they didn't ask for it. On this day, I am going with Triple H, Michaels said, and I believe it down to my core. In fact, I believe it so much I want to be there to see it personally. In fact, I'm going to be in his corner at SummerSlam to watch Triple H defeat Brock Lesnar. Heyman told Lesnar that's the big announcement. He said that that's the moment that they're going to play over and over again, and they look back on Triple H's career. Heyman said Michaels left on his own terms, but Lesnar won't give Hunter that option. Lesnar took the mic and said that the only reason Michaels thinks Triple H can beat him is that HBK has never been in the ring with him until now. Lesnar said while walking toward Michaels, well, Triple H's music played and headed to the ring, and he stood by HBK's side. Lesnar laughed at Hunter and teased leaving the ring. He took a mic from Heyman. I'll see you at SummerSlam, Lesnar told Hunter. And you, HBK? Yeah, you. I'll see you before then. Lesnar and Heyman left the ring together. A good segment that gave the SummerSlam match more juice with the HBK tease, though it remains to be seen whether he'll actually be there. Given Lesnar's threat, either way, the threat was a good hook to keep viewers watching the remainder of the show. And now to set up the footage of Sheamus stealing Del Rio's car again. They aired a tout that had Sheamus singing while sitting in Del Rio's car. This segment, it kind of looked like because he was showing the footage. It looked like a set where they showed the Alamo and people walking by. And what have you? I seen cords going through. It was like it has to be a set. As they went commercial after that, Alex Riley was already in the ring after the next mate. Welcome back, A-Rye. The announcers were joined by Chris Jericho on commentary. Yes, Jericho, babyface. Jericho was wearing Dolph's t-shirt. Vicky Guerrero came out and introduced Dolph Ziggler for his match. Dolph Ziggler with Miss Biggie versus A-Rye. Ziggler stopped wrestling to taunt Jericho, who said he was easily distracted. They noted that Riley was in Miz's corner in the main event of WrestleMania. Jericho put over Ziggler by talking about how he is the future. Yet Jericho said that we are here and now. Ziggler continued to taunt Jericho, who stood up to film a top video. Well, that distracted Dolph, and A-Rye rolled him up for the upset win. 4 minutes, 15 seconds for that match. Nice surprise finish that Jericho set up nicely on commentary. I even liked the way they worked in a tout plug in a creative way. By the way, Jericho noted on commentary that he's been in the second most Raw matches. which should have been on hashtag second most Raw matches. Jim Ross noted on Twitter that Triple H has been in the most matches for those keeping score at home. I was going to research that myself, but got the answer right there. Coleslaw read an AJ tweet that noted that Kane and Miz, who lost in the Punk match voting, will compete against one another. Commercial break. At ringside, the announcers discussed Sheamus stealing Del Rio's car again. Lawler said that he only borrowed the car. They aired another tout from Sheamus, who was spilling food in Del Rio's car, which I missed. Well, I forgot what I was doing at that time. Okay, the Miz versus Kane non-title match. Miz went for his finisher at 3 minutes 15 seconds in. Kane avoided it. Kane came back with a choke slam and scored the pin. That match took a total of 3 minutes 50 seconds. Okay, guess I was in the kitchen or doing something, get me a drink or talk to my wife at that point. Now it's just hype. John Cena versus Daniel Bryan for after the break. Crowd was so flat until the finish that you would have thought two divas were in the ring. And there have been a time when secondary title holders have lost so frequently on television on non-title matches. It's bad enough when comedy figure Santino Marella loses constantly and U.S. champion as U.S. champion. But what's the point of rebuilding Miz by giving him the Intercontinental title only to have him lose clean to Kane in a couple of weeks later? Backstage segment. Sheamus returns Del Rio's car, which was smoking and covered in debris. Sheamus apologized for the smell, but said Mexican food goes right through him. Daniel Bryan makes his entrance wearing his No 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 t-shirt and got the Borgasm chants from the crowd. Bryan played it up by freaking out as the fans chanted at him. Backstage, Del Rio and Ricardo found their car. Del Rio grabbed Ricardo by the collar and said it's all his fault, and then he ordered him to clean it up. Commercial break. Well, that he started picking up the stuff, putting it to the side. Looked like it had been run through a sewage splash. Well, I love Ricardo Rodriguez, the Railroad Rodriguez. That's what I'm gonna call him. But I enjoy the abuse that Sakamoto takes much more. By the way, it seems like WWE believes that if Jerry Lawler repeatedly claims that Sheamus was just joyriding, that it fills a giant hole in the storyline. Which is that Del Rio could have Sheamus arrested for Grand Theft Auto and now destruction of property. Disagree? Go steal your neighbor's car, trash it, and send him a video footage. Let us all know what happens. And after Friday SmackDown, hyping Chris Jericho will host the highlight reel with Dolph Ziggler. After the break, Bryan was in the ring muffing his ears. As the fans chanted Borgasms at him, Lawler said hello to actor Tom Arnold, who was tweeting about Raw. They plugged his forthcoming movie, which will probably be your guest host for next week. Or special guy on the show. Celebrity, I should say. Okay. Well, John Cena made his entrance. Cena said something into the camera, but I couldn't make it out and didn't care enough to rewind more than once to make it out. The announcer set up the footage that recapped closing segment from last week with AJ setting up the triple threat match. Match number 9, John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. The women and kids chanted, "Let's go Cena," and the men chanted CM Punk. So I was right. Okay, Daniel Bryan yelled at it about it this time. No, no, no. Coleslaw noted that Bryan has changed his finishing hold to the no lock. Cena went on the offense early on. Bryan came back hitting a flying knee off the apron on Cena, who was at ringside. Bryan had a yes and no exchange with one of several fans dressed in. There was about 6 or 7 or to 8 guys dressed in referees' t-shirts. Just for Men has proven that you actually can go wrong with babies and commercials if you put goatees on their faces. After the break, Bryan remained in control and hit Cena with a nice drop kick in the corner. Cena made a brief comeback, but Bryan kept shutting him down and regaining control of the match. As the Raw goes over the 3 hours, Bryan hits a top rope headbutt and also coleslaw. Reset the show at the top of the hour. Cena applied the STF. Bryan teased tapping out to counter only with a no-lock attempt. Cena avoided Bryan's submission and hold the champ and hit him with the attitude adjustment and scored a clean pin. Coleslaw raved about the match and thanked AJ Lee for giving it to him. John Cena won the match in 13 minutes 45 seconds. After the match, CM Punk's music played and came to the ring. Punk went face to face with Cena. Punk held up the title belt. Cena shoved Punk to the ground, and then the cameras showed the Big Show was entering the ring. Cena fought off Show and hoisted him up for the attitude adjustment. And CM Punk struck him from behind, but he actually pushed Big Show over, and Cena hit face first on the mat. Punk went to ringside and put on the extra headset. He said maybe it is his fault that he's in a triple threat match and that he's disrespected. After all, he's going heel. He said he's been shaking everyone's hand, smiling, kissing babies, and letting people walk all over and disrespect him. Punk pointed at Cena and Show lying in the ring. He said that from here on out, he does what he does best. He said Raw ends the same way 2 weeks in a row with CM Punk standing tall with his WWE title, which proves that he alone is the best wrestler in the world. He said anybody else who stands in his way will end up lying on the mat, just like Show and Cena. Well, Punk started heading back to the ring and tried to kick Big Show. However, Show caught Punk's leg and knocked him out with a WMD punch, which actually hit him in the chest. Cena got to his feet and also took the WMD punch. Show held the WWE Championship belt above his head and then put it over his shoulder as he looked down at Punk and Cena as Raw goes off the air. Okay, so there shouldn't be any doubt after this show regarding Punk's intentions. I didn't think that there was after last week, but he was a clear-cut heel this time around. I still like to hear him cut the "Get Off My Side" promo in an attempt to reject the people who will still cheer for him. It may lead to him getting more cheers from those folks. I'd like to see Punk take on the challenge. This was an entertaining 3-hour show. They had to give it a few pay-per-view caliber matches and set up SummerSlam. They simply can't afford to do that on a weekly basis. I'm surprised we didn't get more from Lesnar and HBK during the show. I really thought Raw would conclude with Lesnar standing over HBK, but apparently they are saving that for next week. And that ends my show for this week.